Alright, so we've got a lot of banging going on with the doors, and I don't have my mic, but what I want to talk about is on the Kolb, if you look in the, call it the yellow book, it's called a drag strut. And the earlier model Mark IIIs, earlier kits did not come with this drag strut, it wasn't part of it. But as they started increasing the horsepower, started using the 912 ULs and the 582s, started having problems with the ailerons kind of fluttering with the higher speeds. So this was designed as a drag strut. So if you have a Mark III without this drag strut and you have the 582 or the 912, you probably need to look at getting one of these. Contact Kolb Aircraft and they'll get you this. I think it was $135 plus tax or shipping. So basically it's this piece here, and then this is a solid tube, and when you stick it in the wing, you kind of set it, and then you adjust this solid tube in and out to balance the aileron. So we've already done that. We've got our holes drilled. I don't know if we got our holes drilled. The drag strut plan shows 4 holes. So we've got our 4 holes, and then our end ribs on the aileron. We had to drill those out also. So we've got the 2 holes there at the end of the aileron tube. Okay, so here you have it. This is the end of the aileron ribs, and they rivet on this. The way they built this one is that they just smashed the end of the tubing here and drilled into the aileron tube, and there's one on the top and one on the bottom. So we drilled these end rivets out and cut the fabric off of the end of the tube. So now let me go ahead and show. We're ready. We've got our drag strut all painted. So now we're getting ready to install it. Like I said, we already fitted this up. So let me try to match the hole. So there we go, and we'll rivet that all in. The kit comes with the bolt here, and it comes with a packet of I think it's 1/2-inch rivets and 3/16 rivets. That 3/16 rivets will be the ones that we use under the bottom. If you do get this kit, one thing to be aware of, it's going to be really close on ours, and that's, make sure you leave enough room for that bolt. There's just a small space there. I've already filed that head down quite a bit, but we had already drilled it. So we had already drilled all our rivet holes, and we kind of set this drag strut in just a touch too much for the wing. We didn't allow for that bolt. So if you go to install these, make sure you leave enough room for that bolt counter. That the other side we didn't have that problem, we had enough space, but this one we were just, you know, a 1/16 off or too far in, so we had to use a different bolt, and we had to file it off some. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and get this riveted up, and I'll show the final product and the finish. We're going to take some polytack and glue this fabric back down right over that rivet, and probably put a little patch over it. So we'll get all that done, and I'll show you the final product. Okay, so let's take a look at the finished product. You can see where we had to drill out that rivet right there, and we just got the got a little patch stuck on there with some poly tack, and then we painted over it, so we got it all sealed off. Turned out okay, and you can see how close we've got. You can just barely get a little, it's got just enough to clearance there. So just if you decide to get drag struts or add drag struts to your plane, make sure you leave that strut out far enough before you start drilling your holes. Let's take a look at the underside. We've got 5 rivets under the underside. It's going to be hard to see. We got them all painted up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rivets under the underside. Sorry for the lighting. So that's that one. Okay, got the other drag strut installed here. Right there. And just balances those ailerons, and it keeps any flutter that we had before at the higher speed, that is completely eliminated. You really had to be careful when you were at max, at full power. If you went into any kind of downward, not dive, but a descent, that speed got close to 90, you could get some flutter on these ailerons. So this has really worked out well, and it turned out like it had a pretty good install. So everything seems to be doing well. Lastly, let's take a look at that install on the rudder trim. Okay, here's our little trim tab that we've added here. We put it on the 1, 2, 3, 4, in between the 4th and 5th rib from the bottom, and it is 5 3/4. Let's see, what did I say it was? 6 inches long, and we actually have 3. What's that? About 3 3/4 wide. And what we did is we took a 1/4 inch bend here. We bent this on a 1/4 inch bend, and we've got 4 rivets holding it onto this rear tube. Some of the other ones are actually installed on the ribs, and we just decided that didn't fit. I don't think it would have looked very good. This to me looks much better, and we've seen some other trim tabs installed this way, and it just turned out really well. So far it's working really good. So if you're wondering or holding out on installing a rudder trim tab and you're having to hold a lot of rudder, I definitely recommend this. I wish we would have done it when we installed the engine. It would have been a lot more pleasurable flight for the 100 or so hours that we have in it. So now I can, if you've seen the last video that I did flying with it, I can just fly it, and with the yaw string, I've got my finger, I can put my finger between the yaw string and center. So I mean, it's really good, and I think I adjusted it one time, so now it's pretty much right on. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps someone with their drag strut install and their rudder trim tab. It's definitely a must-do if you have a Kolb Mark III, if you haven't done it already. I definitely recommend it. And like I said, hope this helps, and if you like this video, stay tuned for more videos, and also give a like or a thumbs up, and subscribe. Thanks so much.